Hi, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Sorry, I had a little bit of technical issue. So we are starting 5 minutes behind. Let me just check through the group chats if we are all on board. So So we are starting 5 minutes behind. If you're just joining us, this is Excel data analysis class. This is a portfolio project, and today is our last class. So today we are going to be doing pivot table and visualization. So I think I'll just give 5 minutes for my team, my group team to come on board very quickly. So if you're just joining us, so we've talked about data cleaning, we've talked about Excel functions, using Excel functions to answer business question. So today we are looking at pivot table and visualization. So you can go back and check our previous classes. They are recorded on the YouTube. So let's start. Let me share my screen. Okay. Share screen, entire screen, yes. So this is what this is what we're visualizing today. So we're visualizing this, and also we'll be looking at pivot table today. So as you can see, we have a pivot table ready here, and we're going to be visualizing this. So we're going to start. This pivot table already has the business questions needed. So these are questions on the heading of each pivot table. And when we are done with that, we are going to visualize this. So if you're just joining us today, do well to check the recorded version. So we started from data cleaning and Excel functions, using Excel functions to answer business question, and also visualizing that. So let's get started. Let me just call up the last. Okay, I think this is where we are. You can also do well to check. I also talked about locking, how to, you know, locking the rows, the columns, and all that. This is what we did. This is our classwork. This is what we did together. And this is the main data that we cleaned. And this is Excel functions, use of Excel functions to answer business questions. So today we are going to look at pivot table. So what I didn't point out last week was that for each of your tab or sheets, you need to name them. Like this one down here, we have sheet one. So you can um, rename that to Excel functions or functions or analysis. So let's just put analysis. So we name that to analysis, and so today we are doing pivot table. So just add a new sheet and rename it to pivot table, or just pivots. Pivot is fine. So pivot is fine. Hi Pearl, how are you doing today? It's still morning here. How are you doing? So let's run. So to start your pivot, we go to the main data, like this main data. You go to insert, you see insert up here. So you go to the main data. From home, you're going to see insert. On insert, you see pivot table. Pivot table is the first item on that row below. So you see pivot table, you click on it. Yes. Just give me like 10 minutes. So see what is happening. Pivot table is only picking column Q. We need a pivot table to pick from A to Q. So whenever you're picking your pivot table, make sure the range, whenever you do your pivot table, make sure the range is correct. Don't just click OK. Like what we've picked now is giving us just Q. We want it from A to Q. So let's cancel that, or you can just put, let's cancel. So I cancel that. Let's go again, insert. So now you can see, probably I highlighted there before. Now it's given A to Q and from 1 to the end of the data. So always make sure that your range is correct. And you can see we're working on the data sheet. You can see data A to Q. So this is our range. And next is going to ask you, do you want to do this in a new worksheet? Definitely, please always pick a new worksheet. Most of the time is on default, but if it's not on default for you, select new worksheet and click OK. Okay, so we have a label. We need to label something. So let's check if we have headings on all the items. You can see here there's no heading, so it's not going to work. So we need to put heading onto this column. So what do we call this column? Age range. So if you don't have heading on yours, you need to put heading there, because on pivot table, we work with the column headers. So we check through if all our columns have column headers. So if we're done with that, we go again to add a pivot table. We confirm that the range is correct. We click OK. So now that we have all our columns with headers, we no longer have error. So whenever you have an error, just know that, first of all, you need to read the error. The error will direct you what to do. When I read the error, it says that there was a column without a header. So I needed to include a header, because as you can see, when you look at the right-hand side of your pivot table, we are having headers here. Let me just increase this further so that we can see it properly. So when you look at the right-hand side, you see pivot table fields. So these fields are the headers. So if you don't have headers on the main data, on your source data, you're going to have an error. So make sure that you always have your headers complete to avoid all errors, to avoid any error at all. So next, let's start. So I didn't write out the questions. I'm just going to be getting the questions from here. So number of flights by month. So we have number of flights by month, as you can see here. So this my month, and okay, let me do it on the other side so that you see. So number of flights by month. So we need month first and the number, so that when you look at January, you will see the numbers there. So let's go. Let me just quickly check if we are good. Yes, we are good. So we're going to look for a month. This is our month. We bring it down here. So this is our month and the number of flights. You can use flight status, you can use anything. Let me see. As far as it recorded the number of flights. So for here, I use passenger ID. So let's use passenger ID. It's just to count how many flights went out. So here I use passenger ID. Let's use something else to confirm that we'll still get the same number. So let's use flight status. So these are flight status. So for January, we have 8416. So let's confirm from the other one I did. As you can see, 8146. So just look at it. Here I use passenger ID. But on the class now, I'm using I'm using flight status. So it's just to count how many flights. So it's just to count how many flights. So make sure that your pivot table always have a heading. So to put my heading, I want to put the heading here. So that is going to cover for the two columns. So I'm going to merge it first. So I'm going to merge this first. So to merge, you come to home and you look for your merge. So this merge, I'm going to use merge and center. So this is number of flights. I'm just doing this first one. The next one I'll just copy and paste. This is number of flights by month. So this is number of flights by month. So, but you need to make it look presentable. So you need to fill this in. So we can fill it with yellow so that it's going to be popping. As you can see, you can decide to rename this to number of flights. Let's see if we rename that. Number of flights or flights. So now, if somebody looks at this pivot table, they will know that in January, we had over 8,000 flights that went out, that departed. So you make this, customize this, and make it look like numbers. Like I said, if you just go straight here to click on the comma, it's going to give you the accounting setting where you have double zeros at the back. So you need to make it the decimal point to be 0. So what you have to do is come here, home. On the home, you come to the number section, then more number format. You just look down below, you see more number format, and you go to the accounting. As you can see, you have decimal places as 2. That's why we have 2 zeros. So remove the 2 and put in 0, and you click OK. You can see it's taking out the zeros. We don't need the zeros because we're not dealing with money here, so we don't need the zeros. So when you're done with that, the next thing is to label your pivot table. You need to name it for easier identification. So to label your pivot table, when you look at the tab here, you see pivot analyze. When you click on it, you can see it says pivot table. So for this table, since it's our first pivot table, the system automatically names it at pivot table 1. So we're going to rename that as number of flights. Because what if you have up to 10 pivot tables? Will you start thinking, okay, what does pivot table 1 mean? What does pivot table 2 mean? So that's why you need to label your pivot table accordingly. So you can see now we are done with the number of flights. We've formatted. You can bolding this. Just click inside, bolding the text. See how lovely it is, well presented and everything. So now let's move forward. So to move forward, instead of going back to file and doing the whole pivot, just copy this first pivot table, this first table that you did, just copy and you paste somewhere else. So I just paste. So we don't have to go back to look for the range or something. No. So when you do that, it will still be giving you the result that you have here. So you take them out. You can see you have your pivot table here. So let's look for the next question. Let's look at the next question. Our next question says flight status over the month. Flight status over the month. So we want to know the number of cancelled flights in January, the number of delayed flights in January, the number of on-time flights in January. So we just want a breakdown on how the flight did. Okay. So to do that, we have same thing. We still have our month and we have our flight status. So let's go back to our class exercise to do that. So we go back. So we have our month. Our month, we want to see how the flight did. We have our month. Then we have on the columns, we want to have delayed, on time, and cancelled. So that's why we're putting the flight status on. We're putting the flight status on columns. At the same time, we still want to do a count of it. So you see, drag the same thing, flight status into the value. So this, it's going to give you this. So we first of all put it in the column so that we can have it cancelled, delayed, on time to give us a breakdown. Then we still need it. We still need the values underneath each them. So that's why we had to place them under the values. So as you can see, it's already formatted because we just copied this. So it's already formatted, as you can see. Count of flight status. So you can say you can decide to remove the count of flight status, or you can just leave it. So let me just reduce that, and this is it. So let's name that. I'm just going to copy. You already know how to label this. But first, let's label the pivot table. To label the pivot table, just click on the pivot table you want to label. Go to pivot analyze. As you can see now, it's giving us pivot table 3. So we just change that to flight status. So we change that to flight status. So let's click on this. When we click on this, it gives us number of flights. We click on the next pivot, it gives us flight status. So we are going to label this pivot table right now. So what label did I use? Flight status over the months. So we're going to use the same thing. Flight status over the month. Like I said, this pivot table took from column D to column H. So I'm going to merge from column D to column H. So let's go. So to merge, like I said, you go to home, you go to this merge here. You have lots of merge options. So I'm going to pick merge and center. So let's type in that flight status over the month. Flight status over the month. So like I said, sometime you don't have to go back to start picking color. Come here. If you've done one setting, so you just go to where you've done the initial setup, click on it like this. I already have yellow and the font and the size that I like. So I've done it here, so I don't have to do for every heading. So I go here, I click on it, then I go to this paint brush here. You can see format painter. I click on it, then I come here, I click on it. You can see it gives me, but because it's merged into 2 columns, it has broken it down for me. So I'm just going to merge this back into the 4. So we're good right now, right? So let's continue. So now we already know that we just have to copy and paste. So I can just decide to copy this one because this one is smaller. This is just 2-column pivot table. So I'll copy this one because it's smaller and straightforward. Then I paste it. Let me paste it here. Let me give it some room up. So I paste that there. Then I take this out so that I can have an empty pivot table to work with. So that is it. Then I go back. What is our next question? So next question is top 10 passengers nationality. Top 10 passengers. So we have different nationalities, so we need to just look at the top 10 and work with that. So this is the top 10. So we're going to bring in the nationalities and the count because you just want to know which nationality departed the most, made the most departure. Or okay, it's top 10 passengers nationality. So someone can be moving from United States, but the passenger's nationality might be France. So we want to know how many people that are United States what's it called? The English is not coming right now. Citizen. We want to know the top 10 United States citizen that departed from each what's it called, airports. So let's go. Still clicking on the same. So we look for nationality. So we are in our class section now. We look for the nationality in by the right hand corner. So you just scroll down carefully. So this is our nationality. We pick it, and we have to do a count of the nationality. So we pick the same nationality into the value. So anything you put on the value, it's going to record as a count. So anything on the value is going to record as a count. Don't think that because you're having nationality here, nationality there, no. So we just want to see the names of the nationality and also the count of the nationality. So remember we're doing top 10, right? So we have different nationalities here, but the question says top 10 because definitely they know that we have a lot. So we're going to do top 10. So to do our top 10, you go to you have your role labels here. So on the role labels, you see a drop down close to it. Let me just check if we have any question. No question so far. So on the role labels, just click on it and you see value filter, and you pick top 10 because we want to deal with the top 10. So now it's asking you, what do you want your top 10 to be? I want the top 10 to be by the count of the nationality. So let's say you have two more rows. You can decide how you want to have your top 10. So I want it as a count of nationality. So I just click OK. So these are my top 10 from Brazil to United States. So these are my top 10 from Brazil to United States. So let's see if we can sort it to go in descending order or not. So this is Z to A. So let's pick Z to A. Oh, sorry, my bad. So we're going to pick the more sort option. The more sort option will give us the option to pick. Can see it was sorting by nationality. We wanted to sort by count of nationality. So the default was by nationality. So I just click OK to that. Can see China has more citizens that departed from each airport. So China has over 18,000 people that departed from the airport. So when we're done with that, well, what do we do next? We label this pivot table. What have we done here? We've taking the top 10 passengers nationality. So you just click on the pivot, go to pivot analyze. We're having here pivot table 5. We change that to um uh, passengers nationality. Yes. So your naming doesn't have to be very long. You look for the shortest way. Like we did top 10 passengers nationality, but we cannot just write top 10 passengers nationality. Or we can just write nationality, you know. We can just write nationality because that is what we've done here. So we've done that. The next thing is to put a header. So we're going to put a header to it, just like how we you can copy here. Just copy and you paste it. You can see. Then you can type so here we have top 10 passengers nationality, so that if someone sees, they won't think that these are just what we have. So the top 10 just makes the difference. So we're moving forward. Great. So next is next question. Our next question, let's do with let's leave this one. Let's go to this one now. This one says continents percent share of flights. So continents, so we had different continents that were recorded for departure flights. So we want to check the continent percent share for each flight. So it means we have to put the continent and the count of the continent and convert that to percentage. Okay. No, it's not scary. Just stay with me. So I'm just going to copy this. Like I said, work smart. You don't have to waste your time to start pulling data all over again. And you paste it here. You can see I'm pasting them on the same line. I always make sure that your pivot table, your work is always arranged. Not that you have a pivot here, you start another one here. So you have different pivot table on different lines. Just try and make them to be on the same row so that it will look uniform, and it's when someone sees it to be attractive, and It's called storytelling. They'll just follow it up. So what are we doing? Continent percentage. So we pick the continents, we put it in the row, we put it in the pivot, and we pick the continent values. So, but remember, we are doing percentage. So what do? You go to any of these numbers here, and you will say show value as show value. Now we're talking about percentage, because when you pull it out from the pivot table, it's going to give you numbers, but we want the percentage share. You can use this to visualize as a pie chart. So we go to show value as percentage of grand total. So you can see in Africa, we have 11% departed flight. In Asia, we have 18, in Europe, and so on and so forth. And you can decide to sort this in descending order. So you can decide to sort this in descending order. So to sort your pivot table in descending order, you go to row labels, you click on the drop down there, you see more sort options, and you see descending. So you have ascending and descending. So you pick descending and you pick what you want to descend. If you leave it at continent, it's going to descend by the alphabet. But we want it to descend by the count. So click on the drop down and you see count of continents there and you click OK. So as you can see, North America is topping as our most continent with departed flight. So what do we do next? We title this, we label this pivot table. So like I said, if you want to label it, you need to click on a pivot table you want to label and go to pivot table analyze. As you can see here, we're having pivot table 7. What are we doing here? So we'll just put this one as continents. Continents is fine. No need for too much explanation. So continent is fine. And the next thing we're going to do is to label, put a heading to this. So that while we're putting a heading is, when you are sending this report, even if you want to send as a pivot table, when somebody looks at it, they don't have to start tracing what your pivot table is talking about. With the heading, they just know what it is straight up. So I paste that and I change this to percentage, continent percentage share, or continent flight percentage share. So just put the percentage up. Continent flight percentage share. So you can see we have North America topping and South America the least on the percentage share for flight. If you're just joining us, this is our last class on this portfolio project on Excel data analysis. We've done data cleaning. We've done, what's it called? We've done Excel functions, using Excel functions to answer business questions. So today we are looking at pivot tables and we are going to visualize at the end of the day. So stay with us. And if you peradventure watch this video later and you like it and you added it to your portfolio, please do well to follow me on LinkedIn and tag me to your project. Let me see how it is. If you want to reach me, you can also send me a message on LinkedIn for clarity if you have any questions on this project or any other project that I've done so far. Thank you. So now we move ahead. So what's our next question? So which other question are we taking? I don't want to, these are the call out numbers. I want to be true with everything. So this is our last question, which is age group by flight. We want to know the number of age group that flew the most. So in this, if we're in our last class, you notice that we did the age group was not part of what the main data contained. So we used if statements to group our age group from 0 to 15 and to 17 plus. So do well to go back to the other class so that I can understand how to use your if statement properly. So let's go ahead. So we're going to have age group and count by age group or count of age group. So let's move. So what do? We copy out, definitely. So let's copy out this. You can copy from the top if you want, but I just like sorting the pivot table first. So I put this here and I untick all these ones. So let's go to age. Okay, here I use age range. So age range and the count of age range. So there we have it. So we have the our age range now. So what do we do next? We label it. We title this pivot table. We just click on it, go to pivot table analyze, and you write age range. Either age range, age group, or age. Age is fine. So what do we do next? We put a heading to it. Copy and we paste. So what did I use here? Age group by flight. So just going to use age range by flight or age group. Okay, let's use age group. Age group or age range by flight is fine. You can decide if I won't advise you to sort this. Let's leave this like this. So we know that from 51 to 70 years had the most 51 to 50 years passengers flew the most. As you can see, there are over 22,000 of them that flew the most. So I think we're done with this one. So let's do the call out. Let me just quickly look at this. So we're going to do the call out now. Let me see the call out I did. Okay, I did total passengers. So total passengers. Let's go back to the class. So just copy the same thing. Copy and I paste here. So we're doing total passengers. Take this out. Total passengers, we're going to use the passenger's ID. So this is total passengers. So you rename this to total passengers. Total passengers, and you can decide to color that so that this is just a call out. So we do the next one, the next call out. So you can do your callouts from your pivot table, or you can do your callout from the main data. You can use Excel functions to do your callouts from the main data because they are both dynamic. The goal of doing all these things is to make them dynamic. Whatever changes on the main data changes here. So you can use Excel functions to do your callout. I'm going to show you one, but I think I did one like that. So let me paste here. And what's our next callout? Number of airports. Let me see. Did I use? Okay, I used no. Let's use this one. On-time flight. On-time flight. So let's do the on-time flight. So I'm just going to take this one below. Let's do on-time flight. So for the on-time flight, since on the flight status we have delayed, cancelled, on time. So we're going to put that first on the filter. Then we are going to put the counts. You can see. So we have filter and count. Now this is the total flights, which is the same thing as the number of passengers, but let's filter that to just on time. So for the on time flight, we have 32,000, over 32,000 flights were on time, which is not good enough. That is below average, but that is a good report, and they can use that to work while we don't have lots of flights that are on time. So you can change here to on time flights. This count of flight, change it to on time flights. So here we have total passengers as this. We have on-time flights. So I use filter. Yes, I put because on the flight status we have on-time, delayed. So you use filter to select just for on-time because we're only interested in the on-time to see where. So if this is peak period, this is not good enough. So there were lots of delayed and cancelled flights, which the business really needs to work on. So our next question, our next call out, like I said, you can use you can use Excel functions. Like here, I used a count A to count the number of airports. Yes, you want to there's so many airports. So we use a count A and a unique function. So in Excel, you can combine different functions together. So I use a count A. So for your call out, you can use a count A and a unique to get this business question, or you can also use pivot table. So I decided to use an Excel function to do this so that you know that for your call out, you can decide not to use a pivot, you can decide to use an Excel functions or merge into Excel functions to give you your results. So here we have a count A and a unique on the airport. So let's do that. So I'm just going to say number of airports. So on this one, we'll just, let me copy this heading. Let's stay here. So remember, we want unique counts on the number of airports. So we'll do a count A. And we want unique because there are lots of them there. So we have multiple people flying from the same airport. So we want a unique count of that airport. So now we're counting that row with the, well, let's say, sorry, column. So let's say our airport name is in H. So count A means I'm counting everything on H, but because there are multiple people flying, sorry, because there are different people flying from this same airport, I'm going to be having this airport name repeated in different places. But I want a unique count. I want to know a unique count of all these airports. So that is why we introduced the unique function, just so you're clear. So now we've introduced the unique. So we go to our raw data, which here is our data sheet, and we look for the column name that has airports. So this is a nationality airport name. Can see here it's giving us on H. So we select H. You can lock it, you can leave it, but let's lock it and see. And you close bracket. So when you close the bracket, first bracket, you close the bracket, then you close the bracket again, and you tap enter. So you see now we are having, so we have over 9,000 unique airports. So count of airport. Oh, let me see the heading I use here. Okay, number of airports. So number of airports now. So let's just rename that. Number of airports. So now we have number of airports. You can extend that so that it covers. So you can put a comma or you can just go here. So you see, now we are done with our pivot table. You can see how clear, how clean it is, how organized it is. We didn't label, okay, no, here we use Excel function. Did we label this one? I'm not sure. Let's check. We didn't label it. So here we can say on time. So here we say on time. Did we label this one? No, we didn't. So we'll label it total passengers or passengers. So let's leave this as passengers. Passengers. So now we are good. Pivot table done. We're about to enter our visualization. So let's See what happened. I created a sheet and okay. So let me delete this previous sheet I labeled. Delete, then make this one pivot. So this is pivot table done. So clean, so arranged, very easy to understand. So before we go into our visual, before we step into our visual, I just before you go into visual, you just have to have an idea of how your visual is going to look like. Let me see if we have any question. Any question. So So this was a visual I created. Before I created this visual, the only thing I had in mind is I wanted it to look like a report. I didn't want it to be like just a visualization. I wanted it to be a report. I wanted it to look like something. I wanted it to be like something when you look at it. You don't have to go to my pivot table. You don't have to go to the main data. Everything is all there. So and I wanted to have some captivating visuals, adding two shapes together. That is the only thing I had in mind. So if you before you do your visual, have a draft or have a mental picture of how you want your visual to be. You can go into Google to get inspiration from there. You can check people's work on LinkedIn to get inspiration from there. But just try and have something because when you have a mental picture of what you want to do, it saves you the time of try and error. So have a mental picture of what you want, your how you want your visual to look. Then some people might say, "Oh, I'm not good in colors. I'm not a color person. I'm not good in colors. I'm not good in colors." But where I always go for colors, if you want to learn color combination for your visual, you go to color hunts. I don't know if you know about it. When you go to color hunts, so your Google, you go to color hunts, you have different color combination to pick from. So as you can see, they all have on numbers. When you click on any of them, it shows you copied. Then you can take that number and go to your space, your workspace, and use that color. So these are different color combinations that you can use. For this is where I got my color, most of my color inspirations from. So if don't say I'm not good in colors, no. Now you have where to get your color ideas from. There are different color combinations to pick from and different people using this shows that over 1000 people have used this color combination or have copied this color combination or have liked this color combination, as you can see. So if you are not a graphic person or a color person, this is just a place to go to. So there is no more excuse that you're not doing your visuals right, and there is no more excuse that you don't have an idea what to do. Like I said, if you don't know how to structure your visual, go to Google, go to platforms, go to LinkedIn, get inspirations from there. You might not necessarily copy the exact thing, but you know how to structure it. Draw it in a paper, in a book, or something before you get started. And you come here, you try and look for color from what your inspiration is, where you got inspiration from. Try and make your own color unique. In fact, when you are doing yours, I want it totally different from my color. So when you're doing yours, I want it totally different from my color. So that is how I got the color. Then I'm going to show you how we got all these icons here. You remove the background of the icon, you place it here, and we are good. So let's get started. So what do we start with? Let's start with what do we start with? Let's start with this. Let's start with our line chart. So let's start with our line chart. So let's go back to our class. So for the line charts, we just so this is what we're going to be doing the charts, and we'll now transfer them down to our visual page. So you just highlight. No need to highlight the grand total. There's no need to highlight the grand total. So just highlight. Then you can use inserts from here and just put in the line charts directly I like using the points. So you can use this pointer one instead of just using the plain one. The pointer one looks cuter. Don't mind me. So the pointer one just looks cuter, and try and format it a bit before you take it out. So I want to take out this total. I don't need the total. So I take out the total. What's my total? That should be legend. Yes. I take out the total. Then this number of flights, they already know I'm going to have a heading say number of flights. So I don't need it here. So I just right click that and I say hide all field button on charts. So it hides that for me, as you can see. Then what again do I need to do? What did I label this chart? Then you can take out this line here and make it have numbers at each point. So what's this axis called? Um, let's play on this axis right now. So should we say it's horizontal? No, that's vertical. So we take out the vertical axis because we want to impute data labels. So we put in the data labels. Now the data labels, you can decide where your labels are going to be, whether in the center or you want it on the left or on the right or above or below. So whichever one you want. So I'm going to put my data label on the left and see. So I like my data label like this. And the next thing is I am going to add a chart title to days. So instead of having total, I'm going to have what's my chart title here, so that it's going to be uniform. My chart title here is number of monthly trend of number of passengers. That's a long one. I didn't do that. Let me click. Okay. Monthly trend. Passengers, so we'll just call it passengers monthly trend. We'll still take it out, but because we're calling out the numbers, so I'm just saying passengers monthly trends or monthly trends by passengers. Monthly trend, trend by passengers. So this is formatted. We can use this. We'll still take it out because I don't like using the chart title here, but just for identification and everything. So once you're done with this, click on the plus sign, type so this is going to be our visualization. Please work with me. We're going to be fast on this. So visualization, and we go back to our pivot table. You right click, you cut out so that your pivot table sheet will be clean. Cut out, go to your visual, and you paste it there. Just dump it there. So we're doing for all the visuals we want to use. You cut it, dump here before we arrange. So you go back. What's the next one I'm going to pull out? So percentage share of flights. So most time percentage share most times is represented by pivot table. Percentage share most time is represented by pivot table. Let me just see if we have any questions, my darlings. So we are good. So we go to pivot table, and this is, where's our percentage share again? Okay, this is our percentage share. Just highlight it, and we're using pie charts, right? We're using pie charts. So which pie are we doing? Is it bits pie? We're using pie chart. So you pick the first one, and for now, don't worry about the colors. Just deal with the colors that the system is giving you. Just deal with the colors. When we go to the visualization page, then we can deal with the colors. So just format this a bit, touch it up a bit, add some callouts, some data labels, remove the legend. So I'm taking out the legend, I add some data labels, and so I like this data callouts. This is best because you have the name South America, because we don't have legend. So this is better. So we don't need this count of continent any longer because you can see the continent and the number. So no need to add the count. So just right click and hide all field buttons on charts. That's it. So next we going to edit the chart title. So you can just say continent percentage share. Like I said, we'll still take out these chart titles, but so that we don't get stuck. We don't start again. What do we do here? Continent percentage chart. Continent percentage share. So that's continent percentage share. Um, so once you're done with that, you see that the formatting is good. You cut that and you put it on the visualization page also. So we dump it there. We go for who is our next person. So now we have top 10 countries with the most travel. Top 10 countries with the most travel. And we did this with what? This is a bar chart. So we're going to do the same thing with a bar chart. Where's that mean? So we're doing this with a bar chart. Top 10 countries. Where are top 10 countries? Okay. So these are top 10 countries. We are representing this with a bar chart. We are representing this with a bar chart. Coming. I think I wanted to show you guys something. Okay, I think that is in Power BI. Okay, this is top 10 countries. So let's go to insert and we're using a bar chart. So you can decide to use anything. If you want to use a column chart, perfect. But let's use a bar chart this time around. So I click on the bar chart and let's arrange this the other way around. It just doesn't look right like this. So let's arrange this the other way around. What does that mean? So it means that we have to arrange our data in ascending order instead of descending order. As you can see, when we arrange it in descending order, the chart is not giving us what we want. So go back to the data and we arrange it in ascending order. So let's go back to our data and arrange that in ascending order. So remember to arrange to sort, we go back to sort. Oh Lord. You go to sort, I keep making the same mistake. Go to more sort options and we go to ascending order. So we are ascending by count of nationality and we click OK. As you can see, that is sorted now. So we take out this count of nationality, we take that out. So how did we take it out? You just right click on any of them and you hide all field buttons. Then we have to take out this legend because most of the time you only need a legend when you have multiple colors for identification. So if you just have one color, there's no need for a legend actually. So let's take out the legend. So I take out the legend and let's put in some data labels for faster counts or identification. So your data labels as usual, check out the one that you like the most. This is inside, this is outside. So outside is always advisable. So that's it. Then what again? We need to take out the okay, nothing. So let's do the heading. Let's do the title. So let's do the title. What do we title is as? What did I use here? Top 10 countries. Let's just put top 10 countries. Like I said, we'll still take all this out. I just don't fancy chart title here. So I like imputing it, drawing the text and coloring it, making it more fancy. Let me see if I can increase the width of the chart itself. So let's see if we can increase that. Let's see. Should it be chart series? This is the chart. This is the width. Currently we have 182. Let's say it's 100. Does it work? Does 100 work? Okay, yes, 100 works. So you can see that is how you increase the width of the charts. So 100 works, this is fine. Once you're done with it, cut it out, take it to your visualization page, just dump it there until you are ready. So what's our next chart? So here is flight distribution by age group. Like I said, here I used a column chart. Here I used a column chart to do this. And so we only have two more charts to go before we start arranging. Arranging is my best time. So we only have two more charts. So we go back to the main data, our class data, we go to pivot and we go to the age group. We're using a column chart for this. So I think I try to play around with the charts to see. So you click on the chart. Oh, this histogram. Sorry, my darling. So we click on this. So when you click on the column chart, this is how it comes out. And like I said, I don't like this. What's this axis again? I don't like that vertical axis, so I am going to take it out because I'm going to add data labels. So when I take out the vertical axis, I impute my data labels. So mine is already on a default of outside end. So this outside end labeling. So this count of age, I just hide that. Hide all fields button on chart. Yes, hide all fields. Thank you. Then I take out the legend. What this thing here, this total and this thing is called legend. So I take it out. You just untick that. And so we just name this. Well, why am I moving it? I don't know. So we just name it and we say what we call this age. Let me just put age group for now. For now, let's put age group. So once you're done with the formatting, you're good with it, you take it out. You can still format, you can still just do it and format it later, but just like clean them up a bit before I take them out so that once I come here, it's just for me to arrange. That's all. So now we have one more chart to go. And what's that chart about? That is flight status over the month. Yes, flight status over the month. So let's go to flight status over the month. We go to pivot and flight status over the month. We highlight. Please don't highlight the grant. We don't need the grant. Just highlight the flight status, the cancel, delayed on time, and the month. And you go to insert and you go to, I think I use a column chart. Yes. You go to the column chart. You pick the first one. As you can see, this is where you need a legend. This is where you need a legend because right now we have three things that we're comparing. We're comparing the cancelled flights, we're comparing the delayed flights, we're comparing the on-time flights. So this is where you need the legend. In this case, you don't have to remove the legend because when someone sees a green color, it means it's on time. When it sees a red color or orange color, it means delayed. When it says blue, it means cancelled. Because you can't add, if you try to add, what's it called? Call out labels for these names, it's just too much. So there's no need. Even on here, on the numbers, you can decide to leave it because imagine having numbers everywhere will be clumsy. So let's see what I did. I think I left the numbers here. You can see I left the numbers here and I just increase the bars. So let's increase the bars. Remember, to increase the bars, just click on any one and just right click on any of the bars, right click, not select data, okay, format data series, and you go to the bars. This is paint, this is effects, this is series option. On the series option is a gap width. So the gap width, should it be the gap width? Yeah, I think so. So that's 219. We have 219 on default, but let's see if this is going to change. This is 150. Yes, it did. So this is the gap width. we've increased the gap width right now, which is not bad. If you want it bigger, so on the gap width we had 219 before, so you don't just put 300. So the gap width goes descending. So the more the number, the smaller the your bar width. So what I'm calling bar is all this thing. So if you have a 200 there already, you want to make it bigger, so you have to put 100, or 120. So but it has to be descending. So it has to be descending. So let me just check if we have any question. No question. Oh, this I love this badge. The other badge of student I had were just bombarding me with so many questions. So this count of fly status, we need to take it out. So just right click on it and hide all field button. So you just hide all field button. So that's the only thing we have to do here. And so just cut that. No, why is it giving me that? So I'm just going to cut that and take it to the visual page. So there we have it. So I'm just going to bring them down a bit so that we start arranging our call out numbers. So we are good. We've taken this visual, taken this visual, taken this visual, taken this visual, taken this visual. Okay, okay. So now we are good. So let's get started. So we're going to start from this. We're going to start from our call out numbers. As you can see, these are all of them. So let's start creating all these boxes that I merged together. Like I said, you can decide to use a different color or take inspiration from what I'm doing now and do something else. Or you can just copy what I'm doing right now, then later do something different. Always try and do your own stuff. Try and do something different so that you say to yourself, I got this. So to get the call out shapes, you go to insert and we are going to look for shapes. So we have different shapes. We have different shapes. So the shape I used there was this one is a triangle shape. I'm trying to see the difference between these two. So I use a triangle shape. So you can decide to use this shape that has coily edges and a pointer head, but I used this one. So I use this shape. So I use that shape first. Then on this shape, I think I'm going to be using the same color. So let me stick to the same color. Or should we use a different color? So this is the color I used. Um, I just want to pick the color, the number of the color, which is not coming out because I already locked it. Let me ungroup this. So I'm going to ungroup this. I want to stick to the same color I used. So this is the color I use. I'm just going to copy that. So this is the color. So you can decide if you want to fill in. Let's say you go on the internet. So let me try one of the color hunts so that you understand instead of me just. So you go to color hunts. If you go to color hunt, for instance, you want to pick a color that you want. Let's say I want to stick to this color combination, for instance. I want to do this color combination. This blue and this one, they look cool to combine. So I can just put the dark one, depend on you. I want the dark one first. So I click this, it says copy. I go to Excel. Then I go to fill, this fill here. I click down, more colors. And then I go to custom. On the custom, I paste that number that I copied from the internet. I just put hash in front. Where's my hash right now? My keyboard is funny. Okay, I've seen the hash. Okay. So I put the hash. I just click OK. You can see. So now you have the color, but you don't have to do that again because right now it's on your recent color. Do you see now? So that is how you take color from the color hunt and down to your work to do. So, but I am going to go with this one like I did earlier. So next I am going to pick. So I just pick the color right now. So next I'm going to do the next, there are two shapes here, two shapes that are the same thing. So I'm going to bring in the second shape. So this is the first shape. Can see this shape has borders. I don't want all the, it has dark borders. Say dark borders all over it. So if you want these dark borders, you can leave it, but I don't want the dark border. So I'm going to right click and go to the outline and click on the drop down. Then I'll say no outline. See, no more dark borders. Can you see it now? Oh, let me expand this. I think it's small. Let me see if there are questions. No question. Good. So let me just undo what I did there. And increase the font size. So on this shape that we brought in, you can see the dark borders. They are dark blue borders. So if you want to take out these borders, they are called outline. So you right click on the shape itself. When you look up, you see style, fill, outline. You click on that. You say no outline. Once you say no outline, no more dark outline, no more outline. As you can see, you only have your shape and its color right there. So next you want to bring in the next shape. Same thing, same shape. So because we've used it before, it's on our recent. So you don't have to go and look for another shape. So you draw it on it. So like I did, I covered it. This was what I did. So I did something like this. I tried to make the space here and the space here uniform. I think they are most uniform. So this is how it is. Then I remove these dark borders or this dark outline here. So let's remove it. Just right click and you go to outline, no outline. So you see the way it is, looking cool and nice. And the good thing is that you're only going to do this once. So when you're done with that, we want to bring in our names. Okay, first let's change this color. Let's pick our color. So I'm going to pick this color. This is what I was working with. Come on, girl. So I'm trying to pick that color instead of me, but it's currently not picking. So I'm just, let me see if I can copy out the color from there. So this is the color. I say more colors. This is the color number. So I just copy that. Then I go to the class space. So let me cancel this. I go to the class space. Then I add the color there. more colors. So that's the color. So that is it. So let me reduce the space here. I think it's looking good right now. So next you want, and next thing you want to do is, let me just go back on this. Oh shit. So we want to bring in the title and the name and all that. So let's go. So the first one is total passengers. So you want to bring in your text box. But when you're done with these two, you can just group them so that you don't move them around. These things are not uniform. I'm trying to make the lower space and the space by the side same thing. So I'm just trying to make them uniform. I think that looks better. So we're going to group these two shapes together so that when we're moving, we'll just move once. So you pick the two shapes, you right click and you see group, then you group it. When you group it, you can move it around. See the way it is. So once you're done with that, so let's add the text box. So on your insert, when you look by the right, you see your text box there. So it's put in your text box. So on the text box, let me just go to pivot. Did I label this well? Total passengers. So I'm just going to try and pick total passengers from there. Let me see if that works. Oh. Equal to, let me see if it's going to pick it. D3. So now it's picked total passengers, as you can see. So let's try and reduce the font size for that. So you're currently doing dynamic right now. It means that when we go to pivot table and we remove S or ER, so let's try it. You remove ER from here, tap enter, go to your visual, you can see. So it's dynamic. So whatever you change one place affects the other place. So you don't have to do things one by one. So let's take that back to total passengers. And you go to the visuals. So our next visual is the call out number. We still add, so you can just copy V. So Control V or Control D to duplicate that. But this is pivot D36. So this is pivot, this is D, this is 36, the next number is 37. So we want what is on 37. So I take that, I remove the 6, I put the 7. It gives me the number and we are good. So let's format this. Did I use any color in the box? No, I took out the color. And the color here, what did I use here? I'm trying to check the text color I used here. I know I used something grayish, light grayish. So I just want to stick with the initial color I used. Color is not coming out. So I'm going to use light grayish and white here. So you need to unfill this. So this is currently has a white background. So I'm going to take the white background and the borders out. So just right click on that, and on the fill, you fill it with the same color, with the green color. So I fill it with green. Right. Fill with green. Then if you fill it with green, you still have borders. So you need to take out the borders. You need to take out the outline. So you right click and you go to outline and you say no outline. You can see no more outline. So then you can format this text color the way you want. So like I said, I think I did light gray. The graphics on the system is not making me see the right colors. So you can do light gray. Let's see if we can get light gray on the text. Yeah. Or you can leave it as black, or you can change it. So let's format this one also. We'll put in the green color, and I think we'll just remove this. Let me see. From here, it's looking very dark. So I'm going to leave it like this, then increase the font size, 10.1. It's going out of range. What about 9? 9 is fine. So we take out the borders on this one. We go to outline, remove outline. We change the text to, I think the text here is white. Change the text to white. If you are good with that, then you can size them up the way you want, arrange them the way you want. Just pull, then increase. Looks small. Then this one, let me see. So you can increase for this one. So let's increase 12. I think that looks better. You can, instead of filling, you can even have no fill. Let me see. Should we do no fill? Yes, you can have no fill so that it doesn't, you can move the numbers around. So you can have no fill. Let me do no fill. Instead of filling it with the background color, let's do no fill. So that you just take the background color automatically. So now we are good. So we don't have to do the same thing for all other callouts. So we are just going to copy this. So let me just check. If we have any question? No question. So this is what we have for the callouts. So we are just going to lock that so that we can copy everything. We're going to group everything. So to group, you select each one. So I select the numbers, select the title, and select this one, and we just group. So once we group, we just copy and paste or duplicate it. So just copy or Control D. Control D is duplicate, or you just copy and paste. Arrange them the way you want. Let me Control D. So I just did Control D now. Then arrange it the way you want. So now we have 3 callouts. You can see we only did for just one. So once we get the first one right, the others are easy to achieve. So once you do that, so let's go back. What do we have? I think, which one comes first now? Numbers of airport, number of airports. So on the number of airports, I can just either I go to look for it on pivot, or I can just hope I labeled it well. Let me check if I labeled it well. Pivot, number of airports. Yes, I labeled it well. So just go, take this out. Don't take, just leave the equal to. Then you go to your pivot where you have your number of airports. You pick that and you tap enter. So when you tap enter, I think we are on 9. So just leave that one first. Same thing. This one is on 36. So the next one will be, no, This one is on G36. The next one is going to be on G36 or G37. Okay, I think G. So that is it. So let's just format this. So this is the number. We don't have to do anything again. Click on it. Go to your paints. Come here. Uh-oh. I just want this one, girl. So let's try that again because we grouped them. So the first click is going to pick everything. But let me try. I don't want to ungroup. Okay. So let's just format it because I don't want to ungroup them. So this one was white with no fill. Remember we had no fill. So what am I doing? The text was white, not this thing. So here was no fill and our text is white. Okay, and this one we had a no fill too, and the text was a grayish number, and the text here is on 10.1, but this name is longer, is on 11. Let's see if 10.1 work here. We can decide to bring this down and extend this one. So you can see even though you group them, you can still edit inside it. Just don't just click like 2 times or 3 times, and yeah, you have access to the box you want to work with. When you click it the first time, it picks everything because everything is grouped. But you click again on the actual one you want to work with, then you have access to it. So don't think that because you group them, you can't work with them. No. So this color here is sharper. So why is this? Why did I pick the wrong color here? Let's pick again. No, what am I picking? Let's pick text color. This is white. So this is bold. What's this one? This one is not bolding. So let's unbolden this one. So that looks uniform now. Then the last one. So the last one is on time flights. So you take out, please, for making it dynamic, you can't put the equal to in the box. So you click on the box, you go to your formula bar to put the equal to. If you try to put the equal to in the box, in the shape itself, it's not going to work. In the text box itself, it's not going to work. So you click on the text box, you go to the formula bar to do your dynamic editing. So because I know I had that mistake when I started. So we're going to bring in the on-time flights. So you pick this and you tap enter. That is D40. So this one is going to be D41 because it's just below it, right? Let's see. Not sure. Okay, we are correct. So for our text, we already know our text color. This is our text color, and for the call out number, we are using just white. So try to arrange that a bit. I think we should increase this font size down here. It doesn't look small. So for the fill outs, I think we're using no fill here, just to be double sure. We're good. So our call out is good. So I think we should bring it down so that we can have space for slicer and the title. So let's bring them down a bit to create space because this is why it's good to group them. Let's bring them down a bit And I like giving also some spaces by the side. Bring them down a bit. And this one also. So that we can have space for slicer. You can see. So you can use the grid line to aid your, you can see on my C column, everything is sitting there. But on here, let me see if I try to put it on the B. Uh-oh, let me undo that. So squeezing it on the B column won't work. So this is just a bit out of the B column. So this is okay. So next, what our callouts are good. So next thing we want to do is to, I think we should add an let's add heading. Let's add the heading so that it will guide us on how to structure the rest. So to add your heading, you click on insert and you look for shape. On the shape, you can pick any shape you want. I always like using rectangle. This is rectangle with edge. You can decide to use anything because the edge will not show at the end of the day. So um so your title will start here and there. I'm trying to see if it's aligned. So I'm trying to align it with this orange background. So you can still work on it though, but at least for a start, let's get it popping. So let me bring that down a bit. So since we're going to be having slicers by this end, so I'm going to minimize that so that we can put in the slicers here. And then next is to remove these dark borders. So let's remove the dark borders by the end. Remember how to move the outline, so that you call it borders or outline. So let's remove that outline. So you just, when you right click, you see outline top and you say no outline. So outline is gone. So we don't want this blue color. So let's try and make it light. So I can fill with the gray. The graphics on the system is poor, so it's not really giving me the pictures I want. But let me see what color I used here. Yes, I think I used the same thing. So you just type it in, flight reports from, I'm tempted to copy it, but let me just type it in. So you just type it in. The text is in white, so you can't say it. Flight report. So let me just change that. What did I use for the text? What color did I use for the text? Deep green. So I already have my deep green here. Oh, my bad. So I already have the deep green here. I think I'm holding that. So you see, so flight reports from December to January, from from January to December. So remember our month are not in full, so we just use from Jan to Dec 2022. So these are data. So if you want to confirm, you can go to the main data and see the range. So you increase the fonts because this is your heading. Oh no. So you increase the fonts. I like making mine to be in italic. So this is it. Let me see. So then you can decide to, let's put it in middle so that we'll have space for the icons. so that we have space for the icons. I think we're good now. So just for us to have a mapping edge, let's just leave that. So the next thing is, like I said, this is like a report visual. This is a report visual. So since the report visual, what I have here most of the time is going to be introduction. So you're seeing the visual, it's just like you doing your thesis or your defense or your project work. So you normally have introduction. Introduction gives an idea of what this project is all about, what you're doing, and all that. So that is why I like having the introduction immediately out, immediately after the call out. So I have the introduction here. So let's go. So to put the introduction here, you need a text box that I can type in. So I'm going to input a text box. So the text box, because I want everything to be in line, the text box is going to be from this heading down to below here. So to insert a text box to it, you go to insert and you go to text box. When you do this on your own, it's going to be faster because you're not explaining to anyone. So because I'm explaining, that's why it's taking faster. So don't be discouraged. Data analysis is sweet, it's interesting. Don't be discouraged. So this is our text box. We want to type here, but I'm not going to type here. I'm just going to copy what I typed. So this is my introduction right now. So for the introduction, I said this report provides in-depth analysis, blah, 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 blah. So this is my introduction for the project. So I just copy this. So I copy my introduction here and I paste it. So you can copy my own introduction and use it if you want this at the end of the day. So this is my introduction. As you can see, my text box has outline also. But if you look here, you will not see an outline. So you need to take out the outline. So I'm just going to minimize this. Let me see how it looks like, because from my own end, it's looking so bogus. So I want to see if I'm doing the right thing. So you can see it's looking nice, but there's some text missing underneath. So I'm just going to extend that down. So let me just double click inside, Control A on the inside, reduce the font size to, let me reduce the font size to 10 because it was on 14. It was making everything look very big. So as you can see now it's aligned, but I have the outline here. I still have the outline, so I'm going to click in the text box, right click, take out my outline, no outline. This is my text box. You can see no outline, and it's blends perfectly. So no one will know that you imputed a text box here. So, but when you click inside, if you want to adjust the text box, you can still adjust that. So this is how it looks. I can see minimizing it even, gives me more room for expanding to know if I was doing the right thing. So always make your color rhyme, because I'm using green for the text because I already have green going on there. So when you're doing your other graphics, make sure that you're either working with green or lighter color or this burnt orange here. As you can see. So the next thing I'm going to do is bring in my trend, because I love trends on the top. So I'm going to bring my trend, which is my monthly trend here. So we are just going to bring the trend. So let me cancel that for us to have space. You see why I said we need to move. So you move all that. Why is it mapping there? So it doesn't want to move. I can minimize you. So this is our trend. You make it be on the same line also. So you just try to align it. So someone might say, why not remove the grid line? The grid line, when you're arranging it, don't remove the grid line. The grid line will aid you. When we're done, is only after your work, then you can remove the grid line. I don't know why this is mapping here. So that is it. So once you're done with this, so this is where you take out this, you take out the title. So let's take out the title because we're going to add a better title. So we take out the title, we take out the borders or the outline, no outline. So it's looking good. Then since we want to add our own title, we minimize it a bit so we can add our own title. So to add your title, you need to impute the text box. If it's too wide, you can bring it in a bit. If you feel the space is too much, you can bring it in a bit. As you can see, you just adjust accordingly. Then let's add a title. To add a title, we need a text box. Whereas our text box is insert, then we go to text box. So you just draw the text box up to the points of your data. You see? Okay. So what did we write in here? Monthly trend of number of passengers. So I'll just copy the text only. So I don't want to copy everything. So I see how I do it. Therefore, the others I can copy everything. So just to copy, then you paste in there. So once you paste, you can see how it is. So for the inside, so we're going to fill it with this burnt orange so that we're going to have uniform color. So let's fill this. So let's fill this. Right click. What are we filling it with? With the burnt orange. Where's our burnt orange? It's up here. So it's part of our theme color, and we're working with white text. Where we can't use green text, we do with white text. So you change the text here to white. So make sure that your things are always uniform, not that you have different colors playing around. So we have the white text and we align it to the middle. You see? But guess what? Our line chart is in blue. So we change this blue color to green. Like I said, we're working with colors here. So let's go to format series. Let's go to paint. On the paint, you can see color. You're seeing blue, right? So we change that to the green, our theme color. So you're still having bubble blue here. So for the bubble, we'll change it to the either orange or burnt orange or anything. So let me see if we can change that blue. The graphics on the system is terrible. So bear with me because everything is looking bluish now. Let me see if I can change it from just right clicking up here. Let me fill it with, okay. So that's it. So now we've changed the bubbles to orange and our line charts to green. So it makes sense now, right? Yes, making sense. If this is not aligned, you can still drag it up a bit for it to align accordingly. Looking good. And if you want to stretch this out more, we can still, give it some, some space. See? So now we are good with that. We move on to the next line. So this, just trying to see that we are on the same page. Step this one up a bit. Because they're not going to see this line. What they're going to see is Jan, Fab, March, and everything. So it doesn't matter where this adjustment line is, because they're not going to see it. So I'm just trying to align this last column to this month. So that looks good. Okay, so we're progressing. Let me see if we have any question. No questions so far. Oh my goodness, ready to one. Let's move faster, faster, faster. So the next one, I'm not going to really explain like this ones, because you already have an idea of what I'm doing. We are through with the others one. So let's move ahead. And so we're going to do continent of flight share. So I'm just going to copy, you know how we got this now. So I'm just going to copy this so that we don't waste lots of time. And just going to paste this. Let me paste it here. So since I already have this, I'm working with this color here. So I'm just going to copy that and come here and paste, and it changes everything. So you don't have to do it twice. When I'm done with that, I align it to where I want it. So I want it here, aligning to here, and we are good. Please don't map. Thank you. So you see, so let's take this one out. So let's take out the title, because now we have a title, chart title out. So we extend it. So this has borders and the or outline. Let's take out the outline. We don't want people seeing, so no more outline. So we extend that out, because when you take out the outline, I think that looks good, right? Yes. So that is it. The next one, what we're doing next is insights. So this insights, I got the first, like the insight, I said August recorded the highest travel frequency. So in August, so this is giving the insight of everything. So when someone looks at it, the person might just come straight to the insight. What's this insight talking about? So this is the insight. And writing it like this, you might not necessarily need to write a report. Maybe at the end of the day, you might want to write conclusion or your challenges in your report, because this is a full report visual. So this is just the insights. So I'm just going to copy out the insights and everything. Like I said, I'm going to give, if you want a copy of this, let me know. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to drop it in the support group. So if you want to use this, you can have your own insights. This were the insight I got when I did this analysis. So I'm just going to pick the formatting of this, put it here, and try and put that there. And I'm going to bring the insight. The insight is a text box, just like I did for the introduction. So I'm not going to do that, because you already have an idea of what I did. And so we're just going to move ahead. So I'm going to paste that here. So reduce the font size to 9. What did I use up there? Let me use 9. What did I use here? Okay, here I used 10. So let's use 10. But the text here is more. You can adjust accordingly, but don't adjust more than one, so that you don't have big text up and small text down. So just adjust accordingly. So this is 9 plus. Let me see if I can just do 9. So that is 9. Let me see if I can extend so that we have more rooms. Try and extend that. Okay, so now we are aligned. Then for this one, can bring it down a bit. Yes, we are good. So next thing to do is to bring in our top 10 countries. So we are going to bring in our top 10 countries. Let me just create space. Okay, this is the top 10 countries. So these are top 10 countries. I'm just trying to create space for it before I bring in the title. So let me bring in the title. So these are top 10 countries with most travel, and like I said, you already know how to do the heading. So I've done one, so the rest should be easy. And to format this accordingly, you click on the one that we already formatted, click on the paintbrush, click inside here, and it's formatted for you. So here I just want to, and the space, try and make the space uniform also. So we had a small space here. So just try and make the space uniform. Don't bother if it's not aligning right now. When we are done, we align everything. So that's it. So here we remove the title because now we already have a title. So now we have a title. What do we do next? We change the bar chart to green. I think I left mine on green. I just left mine on blue. No, I left mine on green. So you change this the charts here, the color of the charts to we change it to green. Yes, to green. So you go to format series on the paint. Um on the paint, let's go to fill. So on the fill you have blue, so we change the blue to green. And if we want to increase the, no, let's not increase. I wanted us to increase the width of the bars itself, but let's minimize. Let's align it to see if it fits first before we start manipulating that. So let's take this back. So as you can see, we need this to start from here. It's going in there, in there, in there, in there. So let's remove the outline right now. So to move the outline, just right click and you go to outline, no outline. So the outlines are taken out. So I think this is good. So let me move this down. This is good. So now that we have this, don't touch this line chart yet. Let's do for the last line and see how they're going to fit. Then we'll auto do the other ones. Can see it's looking nice. Let me take them back a bit. Can see it's looking so nice now, coming out nicely. So we are doing the last line now. We're doing for the last line right now. We're doing for the last line right now. What's our last line? Our last line, the first thing there is flight distribution by age group. So let's just copy this. If you don't know how to do this title, please check out. I did the title for monthly trend the same way I did for this one. So just the same thing. Just because of time constraint, I am just copying this other one so that we can finish on time. So as you can see, we are having different colors. So you don't have to go back and look for the color of this. So you go back, you just click on the one, and this is our theme. So you click on your theme, you click on the paintbrush, and you click on that, and it automatically, let me increase it again. And let me bring it down a bit. So you just align it so that aligns. It looks dull. Let me pick it again. So you pick that. We'll bring in the flight distribution by age group. Where's our flight distribution by age group? This is it here. And we try and align it properly. Remember to take out the titles and the outline so that your charts can look so good. So we take out the chart title And what again? I think that's all. And we change the color. So to change the color, just click on any of the bars, right click, format data series, and you go to paint here, the paint here, you see color. This is on fill. Fill means what you want to fill in. Fill, you go to color and you change that to green because green is our theme color for our charts. So if your callout numbers are too big, you can reduce it. Just click on any of the callout numbers. You go up here and you change the font size as you wish. So let's change this to 8. And you can decide to color your callout numbers. So if you want to color your callout number, oh, my bad. Sorry, the text not filling. Don't follow me. So if you want to fill out your callout numbers, that is how you fill it. But let me just leave it on the dark, on the default. So on this one, we still have outline. We take out the outline. And for the outline, you have no outline. And then we increase that. I think that looks good. Okay, the bars are lined. This is good. You can decide to extend this bar, the width of the bar. Just click on it. Okay, it's already there. You can decide to make the width, increase the width of the bars. So let's make that 150 and see how that looks like. So we've increased the width of the bars, so that's okay. Then next we bring in the next one. I think the next one should be a text box, which is recommendation. So on the recommendation, just click on the recommendation, just copy and you paste. So we are doing if you're just joining us, we're doing data Excel data analysis class. We're doing a project, a portfolio project. So today is our last class on this batch. We start from data cleaning to use of Excel functions to answer business questions. And today we've done pivot table and we are doing thank you so much. Thank you, Mama. Thank you. So today we are doing pivot table and data visualization. So we've done the analysis. We're currently doing the visualization and we are almost done. So you can check out the recorded stuff to follow the class through, and also the link of the data sets is in the description box. So if you want the data set, is in the description box. So it's a downloadable file. You don't need to save anywhere. Once you click on it, automatically it downloads to your PC. So click on it. Then the next thing is so for the recommendation, just like how I added the text box for the introduction, is the same thing. You just add your text box and you type. So for the recommendation, I'm just going to copy what I've done. This is the text box. As you can see, you can see the outline of the text box. So always make sure that you hide what you're doing so that when you send out your report, they're only seeing the results of your work, because it will make it very neat. So just right click that and oh, I copied the recommendation again. So also copy the text box. So let's copy the text box. Copy and you paste there. The font size is very big, so you just go to let's make that 9 because we've been working with the font size of 9. So you can make that 9. If then you bring this, you align it to the header and you also minimize this. So this looks good. So you can so if you want to extend it a bit, just extend it a bit, and this works perfectly. So this is good. You can see your recommendation has spaces, it's readable, and it's very easy to understand. So for the recommendation, I said ensure a sufficient staff include. So your recommendation is going to be based on your analysis or your insights. So this is the insight that whether it's a positive insight a negative insight, especially if it's a negative insight. Like we had less than 50% of on-time flights. So that is part of your insight. So what are you recommending? What's your recommendation based on that challenge? So you give your recommendation, the business might decide to take it or they might decide to go with their own recommendation. But you need to, profile solution because that is also part of your job. So like one of the recommendations I said offer passengers more flexible rebooking or cancellation policies during this month, so probably when um when you offer people more flexible rebooking stuff, that airline will have more people coming to them because they're flexible. You can't just be an airline that um people cannot rebook their flights or they cannot cancel to get their money back and all that. If you want traffic, you need to be flexible on some policies. So ensure sufficient staff. Then you need to I said during July and August, when travel frequency increase, allocate more check-in counters. So we know that during August and July is summer period. So, and let's say there is only one counter that is checking in people. So there are going to be lots of queue, people dragging, customer complaints on standing for too long queues and all that. So during when you have your peak period, for instance, especially during summer period, so introduce more check-in counters. Improve security screening efficiency, provide additional support the to handle more passengers. And when you have less traffic, you can just take out the extra counter and just make it one like it as it was before. So, but during the peak period, so that is part of your recommendation. You see, it's super easy to think outside the box because you fly a lot, you understand the stress that you go through, so you can easily prefer solution. This data sets are like your everyday data. So even though you have your health data set, you have flight data set, you have even without working on that data set, you can actually think of ways that this department, this industry can improve on their services. Don't just keep it in your head, write it down so that by the time you're through with your analysis and everything, that is going to be part of your recommendation, especially when it links to the data set itself. It links to what you're doing. Did I speak too much? I think so. So the last thing that we have is um the flight status. So we want to see the breakdown of the flight status for each month. We want to see the delayed flight and all that. So let me bring in the header for the flight status and what is oh. So flight status over the month. So I just copy that and I paste it. So don't be scared. Data analysis is not hard at all. It's not scary as you think. It's your everyday, stuff. You don't have to think outside the box to think of a recommendation or something like that. So I'm just going to copy this and put it there. So I'm just trying to align it to the lines. So I'm just aligning this here. So align here. So now it's aligned. Let's take out the outline, the borders. No outline. So now that we're done with the below. So we come back to our trend. So you can extend your trend to the end and extend the title to the end. Can see. Let's see how that looks. Can see. Looking all beautiful and good. Looking all beautiful and good. So there's no need to change the color on this pie chart here because we have our theme color. This is green. This is these are two greens. This is one of the team color. We also have blue here, so we can introduce one or two extra colors, which is fine. If you want, you can change this purple to gray. So to change the color, just click on anyone and right click. Let me format series. Oh, no, let me see. Is it data point now? Okay, yes, data point. So I can see you have purple here. You can change this purple to light gray. So you can have that. So if you want to change any color, because that purple was, coming out too much, and the colors that we have, our team colors are all cool. So I had to change that. So if you want to change, you just click on any of them you want to change, and you're good to go. So what we're going to do next is our slicer. Let me see if we have any question. Okay, no questions so far. I'm not looking at the group chat. Maybe when I'm done, I can look at the group chat. Then I can answer any question there. So we'll do this later. Let's quickly do the slicer. On the slicer, what are we? So on the slicer, we're slicing country name and airport name. So we're slicing country name and airport name. So to slice, we can do it from a pivot table. Can do from a pivot table. Let me try something. Let me just copy this out, paste here, and go to pivot, analyze. Where's the slicer now? Okay, insert slicer. So for insert to insert to insert slicer, so we're doing country name. So what I'm trying is, let me see, you have to, so country name, and you have to click on a pivot. So not necessarily you have to copy. So because I copied, I just wanted to check something. So you just need to click on any pivot or the pivot by the right. So country name and airport name. So you go to pivot table, analyze. Under filter, you see insert slicer. So we have airport name. So okay. Oh, okay, wait, let me take this out first. So let me cut this and put it here. And let's do for the next one. What's the next one right now? Country name. Okay, this is it. So let's cut this and put here. You can see the colors are different. Don't worry, we'll change the color. So let's change the color. What color did I use? Did I use the orange? Should I use the orange? So when you click on it, you'll see slicer up here to tell you different colors to pick from. So this is one color. I'm not sure this one goes well. So this is another color. So this is our color. This is our team color. So you just align it to the header. So let me see if I can pick that color instead of, no, I can't pick. So I need to change it individually. So this slicer, we already know where the color is on the next row. Yes, so we align that. So just align it to the side. So that's it. So let's say we'll click whether the slicer will work. So when you click on it, slicer does not work. The slicer does not work because we've not connected it. So you need to connect your slicer. So to connect your slicer, right click on any of the slicer and click on report connections. So you click on report connections, see all your pivot table. Remember how we named the pivot table, right? So you see the age, the continent, the flight status. So if there is any pivot table you don't want to link to this slicer, you don't connect. So but we want to connect everything, so we select all. You see, we just select all. So you see, you just select all, you just click OK. So now because I picked Afghanistan, see it has changed. So now your slicer is working. So now your slicer is working. Just cancel to go back to defaults. Then same thing you do for here. So right click, report connection to connect all your tables, everything. So the only thing that is not going to change here is the insight and recommendation, because those are just text box. Those are just text box. So okay. So you might want to take this up a bit. Let me see how that looks. Let me take this up a bit. Let me take this up a bit. So you see, now we are done with that. Now let's work with the final stuff. So this, we align this here. We bring it down a bit to align down. We take it more to the side. Then you can increase the fonts. You can still increase the fonts. So before we do that, let's bring in our icons. I just feel that this color is too bright. What do you think? I feel color here. I just feel it's too bright. No, I think it's okay. Can work with that. Then next thing is to bring in the icon. So we are working with flights. So you can go to Google and look for flights. So you go to Google. Please make Google your best friend. So just put flights icons. So you go to images. So you can see a lot of flight icons or passengers and flights. Let me put passenger. So you see a lot of flight icons. So you can decide to pick any one. Let's pick this one. I like this. So whichever one you like, you can download it, save image, just click on it, right click, save image as flight icons. Let's just put flights. Oh, it's coming in as web. We need it to be as picture. That is coming in as web, so we can't use that picture. So you need to be able to save as JPEG or anything. Probably that is this is royalty free. So why is it giving? It's a royalty free image, so I don't want to go into the site. So I want to be able to copy out from here. So let's use something else. I just wanted something color because we had one of our team color there. So let's use this. Let's see if we can get this. Save image as. So you can see this one comes in as JPEG. So flight 1. So look for another one. Can we use this one is in blue? Let's use airport passenger icon. Let's see this one. Save image. You can see this one comes in as PNG 2. So flight 2. So when you're done with both of them, you go to remove background. So I'll show you why we need to remove background, because when you come here, let's import one of them and see. I'm going to show you why we're removing background. So import pictures. No, where's import image? From cell. Okay. This device. Downloads. Flight. So tiny. Oh, I said into cell. My bad. I want it over cell. Yes. So as you can see, it has that white background. It's not going to fit. It's not going to be fit. So you need just the image. You don't need the white background. So that's what we're using remove background. That's what we're using remove background. So I'm going to delete that. So we go to our remove background, and this app is free. So it's totally free. So you use it to your advantage. So now it's working. It's done right now. So I say download. So that one is downloaded. I go back to do for the second one. This is the second one. Done. I downloaded. Then now I go to Excel to bring both in. So to bring them in, go to insert in pictures, place over cell this device. So can I bring both of them in at the same time? Let me see. Insert. Yes, I can. Where's the second one? Okay. So let's change that. So let me rotate this. Normally I just look for the exact picture that gives me what I want. But let me see if I can rotate this the other way around. Instead of, let me flip this like Canva. And let's see any way to flip there, but let's use it that way. There should be somewhere to flip, but I don't want to start. So when you're doing yours, look for the one that is, facing, look for pictures that are facing each other. So let me take this. So this is it. We are done. So this is it. We are done. We are done. We are done. We are done. So once you're done now, you can go to view and take out the grid lines. So remove the grid lines. Can see no more grid lines. Now when you remove the grid lines, can see there's small mistakes. This one is not aligned properly. This one is, let me see the one below, or it's just me. So the one below came out more. So let's try and take this one out more. So then same thing. No, I think we should align it here. Or should I take it inside? Let me take it inside because of the slicer. I think that looks better. Then align the chart itself. That looks better. Yes, we are done. We are done. We are done. See what our work is looking like. We are done. But we still have one more thing to go. So you need to take out this other end. So you need to hide this other end. One says you hide this. It looks as if we're working with Excel, right? So you need to make it look like you're not working in Excel. So you align from T to the end. That's Control, Shift, then your right arrow. So it takes it to the end. Then you right click and you hide. As you can see, now the person will be wondering, what did you just do? So next thing you do for the rows, Control Shift down arrow and you hide. Oh, what just happened? Undo. Okay, I don't know why that is disappearing. So because I removed the grid lines, I like leaving grid lines on my charts. So for this one, we don't even need this horizontal stuff right here. Thank God I saw that. So let me move the horizontal. I think is it horizontal right now? Yes. Because we already have call out numbers, so we don't need the extra numbers below. So that's why you must always check your work to see if what you've done is perfect, at least almost perfect. Then when you're done with this, if you want to send your report out, let's say you want to put it on LinkedIn, you want to share it, and you don't want to share the entire Excel, you can use what is called pick. So this is a pick. Let me close it and open it again. Don't save. So you download pick from Google. It's free. Like I said, just install it on your laptop. It guides you. It helps you with scrolling down screen. So I use pick to capture my scrolling down screen. So you can see scrolling window. After installing, you have all this it's a pick a task. I want a scrolling window. So I click on it. Then I want it to start scrolling from here to here. Then I take it down. Then I leave it. It will just scroll down the window for me. So it's done right now. Once it's done, you can now align it as you want. And when you're done, you can save it so that you can use it for sharing to people in your reports. You can say image. Please don't name yours as image. So that is it. So let me search image on the PC. Now image is not coming up. Where's my image? Where is my image? So this is what we've done. So when you're doing yours, try and align this line here. So this one is a bit out. Try and align it. You can see when you take a picture, you can see it better. Align it, and that's all. So if you're just seeing this video, so we started from data cleaning. We did Excel functions. We answered business questions with Excel functions. And today we did pivot table and data visualization. The data set is in the description of this video, so you can download the data set and just walk it through. This is a portfolio project, and this is perfect. So now we did a report. We just did a report visual. This is what they call report visual. Now the other badge, I also had a live that I did sometime in August. That is more like a main, like that is not like a report visual. That is the normal dashboard. That was a dashboard, but this one is a report visual. So whichever one you want, both of them are portfolio projects, and that is a good way to start your data analysis journey. Thank you so much, guys, for joining the class today. This is our longest class, and I'm so happy we finally completed it. So let me see, and I'm going to having lots of questions to in the week, because that's where the questions come in. Where am I? Okay, I'm here. So see you guys. If you're in the support group, let me know. Bring all your questions before we finally close up on this class. You have 1 week to answer your questions. And if you happen to do this project, please do them. Post your progress on LinkedIn, and please tag me on LinkedIn and say this is the big head at the lands from. See you guys. Bye.